Alright folks, this is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel, and today we're going to be doing a video on the Jackery Explorer 1500. Now, in full disclosure, the Primal Outdoors channel is supported by Jackery, but I don't want you guys buying stuff that isn't going to work for you. So if you're interested in finding out why, I think this could be a great unit for the camper or overlander and not a good unit for the full-time van lifer, then stay tuned to this video. Alright, so quickly I'm going to go over the specs of the Jackery. Now, quite honestly, all this information is available on their website, so if you guys want to skip over this section, I totally understand. But to get started, this is the 1500, which that gives you about 1,488 watt hours of power, which equates at about 12 to 13 volts. You're looking at, that's about 111 amp hours of battery time. The unit itself is about 33 pounds, which isn't too horribly bad considering the fact that it is a pretty good size portable battery system. You're definitely not going to want a backpack with this thing, but it would work well in a vehicle, some type of vehicle setup. Going across the front here, you start off with the inputs. On this particular Jackery, you have two inputs, which gives you a combined charging of 600 watts. These are MPPT capable inputs, so not only can you use the supplied options that Jackery gives you, but you can also build your own solar system for this Jackery if you wanted to. Each port is 300 watts, so you can mix and match, so you can have the AC plugged into one and solar plugged into the other to try to get up to that full 600 watts or any other combination that you like. I did use this system in Hills Canyon, and I used the 4 100-watt solar sagas, and that gave me like 400 watts of solar there combined, which actually equated to about getting 336, which I was really impressed with, especially since we had it on a grassy hillside and some of the grass was still covering up the solar panels. So the fact that I was still able to get 336 watts out of that 400 watts of solar panels was pretty efficient. They're pretty efficient, but like I said, you can build your own solar system for this. The display gives you all the normal information that you expect out of a Jackery unit. You know, you can get your watts going in, watts going out, the percentage, but it also will tell you on this one, based on what you're pulling and what's coming into the system, how many hours you have of battery time left on it. Typical Jackery, you have a 12 volt, 10 amp cigarette lighter style port. And then as far as your USB options are concerned, you have a 60 watt power delivery. You have a 5 volt, 4 amp port, USB-A, and then also a quick charge port, which is also USB-A. You have 3 AC power ports, which, like I said, gives you a combined total of 1,800 watts that you can be running AC, anything that uses AC. And that pretty much covers the Jackery. It does have the completely useless flashlight on the side. I don't know why they put this on here, but in the end, it's there, I guess, if you want to really carry around a 33-pound 1-watt flashlight. That would be awesome. But yeah, so that's the Jackery. So let's get into who this is going to be good for and who this isn't really going to be good for, in my opinion. All right, so when it comes to the part-time adventurer, where you're building a vehicle for camping or overland, but you really only get out weekends or maybe week-long adventures, I'm not a fan of putting in a dedicated dual battery system. A dedicated dual battery system can be very complicated and expensive to build properly. The battery system, just for example, the battery system that I have in the van, I have two 100 amp hour Battleborns, and then I have a Red Arc Manager 30. For a weekend to overland, I think that you could get by fine with just one of those 100 amp hour batteries, but just one of those batteries by itself is $1,000. And then if you add in the Red Arc Manager 30, which properly charges that battery off the vehicle's alternator and solar, that is another $1,200. So, you know, with this unit here, it's $2,000, 100 amp hour battery, and all the charging, everything that you need to be able to charge it is already built into the system. You just have to provide it some form of power via cigarette lighter port or your solar panels. So to me, this is a lot more cost effective in that, as far as that's concerned. Again, 100 amp hours for a weekend to week-long adventure, I think is plenty of amp hours for running a refrigerator and some cameras, cell phones, tablets, whatever devices you're going to bring along. The other nice thing about a system like this is it's not tied to your vehicle. So if you're having to use your vehicle for other things besides overlanding and camping, you can just take this out. It comes out of the vehicle, and then you can use it around the house. In emergency situations where you lose power, you can plug your refrigerator into this or your freezer into this, or still be able to keep cell phones charged up so you can keep in contact with the world. Whatever you needed to do, this would give you some temporary power options in a power outage situation. But you could also use it around the house for just other things. You could take it out in the yard, use it to run power tools. I mean, there's just a whole plethora of options that you could do with a portable system like this one. If you put a dedicated system in your vehicle, it's stuck to your vehicle, and it could be, you know, problematic or in the way. And this, I just think, gives you a lot more flexibility than running a dedicated system. So for the weekend adventure camper, I really do think this has a lot of options. Now, with that said, on this particular device, I'm a little disappointed in Jackery not providing us more USB ports. We only have the one 60-watt USB-C. I would like to have seen either 2 of those, and even better yet, I would love to have seen a 100-watt power delivery port. That would have been great. But anyway, I would definitely like to see a lot more USB ports. You know, when it comes to even just plugging in like a phone and a couple camera or a tablet and stuff, you're gonna end up running out of ports, and you're gonna end up having to swap all the time and unplug something to plug something else back in. And I think on a device as big as this, we definitely should have got more USB ports. Same thing as I feel about the 12-volt port over here. I mean, it's nice that we got the cigarette lighter port, but I would love to see some more options in the way of being able to plug straight DC items into this, like say string lights or any type of lighting that you might want on your vehicle, or even the option to be able to wire in other types of devices to this. So I feel like if they would have gave us like maybe some mini Anderson port options, which are fairly standard plugs, if they would have gave us mini Anderson port options to where we could wire in our own devices and be able to plug into this, that would be super helpful. When it comes to the AC, when it comes to camping and overlanding, I really don't see a huge demand and need for AC. I would still want it, but I don't think I would need 3 ports. I'd rather have some of this real estate given back for more DC options. Those are my opinions on that, but yeah, that's my biggest downside that I see to this unit for camping and overland. All right, so as somebody who lives in my van full time, I have a lot of devices that I'm running inside the van to live every day and also work and get my work done. I've got my Snowmaster refrigerator, I've got my Max Air fan, I've got a Propex heater in here, and then like I said, when I'm working and editing, I'm running my MacBook sometimes 4 to 8 hours a day, depending on how much work I'm trying to accomplish. I have a tablet. I have all my cameras, batteries that need to be recharged, the drone, my Sonys, all that stuff needs to be taken care of on almost a daily basis. And it's pretty common for me to eat up anywhere from 75 to 100 amp hours a day. Now, the big challenge when you're living in a van is getting that power back into your battery system. It's not like when you're living at home and you've got constant power where you can plug into AC and it's, you know, unless you have a power outage, it's just there every day and you don't have to think about like, oh, I used 70 amp hours, I've got to figure out a way to put 70 amp hours back into the system before I can go use the system again. That's the things that you have to think about if you're going to live the van life, or, live in an RV or any type of setup like that. That's where I see the biggest challenge in a portable system like this one here. It's not that the Jackery is not capable, it's your vehicle. Your vehicle is not going to be capable. Your typical cigarette lighter port is only going to pump out about 8 amps, and you're going to be at that point relying on your start battery to recharge this battery. And most newer vehicles, the cigarette lighter port isn't on anyways when the vehicle's off. So you would have to be running your vehicle, and at that point you're only going to be getting 8 amps going into the Jackery, which is going to be very inefficient for you if you're really trying to recover this day in and day out. You do have the option of solar, and with the 4 solar sagas and good sun, I was, like I said, able to get 336 watts going into this, which is exceptional. Very, very good. That's totally exceptional. So if you do live in an area where sun is, where you have sun a lot of times of the year, you might be able to do, to rely on that. But for a lot of people, that's not going to be an option. Even where I'm at right now, it's a sunny, beautiful day. But because it's a sunny, beautiful day and it's going to be warm, I'm parked in the trees. I've got a lot of shade. It would be very difficult for me to effectively use the solar panels because I'd constantly have to be trying to move the solar panels around as the sun kind of moved around and the shade moved. The other thing is quite honestly, I don't want to carry 4 portable solar panels inside my van. The space inside our vans is a premium. I don't want to carry that around. Now, I did mention before, if you saw when we talked about it, this is an MPPT capable input. So I could put solar panels on the van. But again, I'm parked in shade right now. I don't want the van in direct sun. I'm trying to keep it cool. That's just not really going to be a good option. So for me, I rely on my dedicated battery system. I have 2 100 amp hour Battleborn batteries in the van, which are being charged via a Red Arc Manager 30, which gives, when the van is on, gives me 30 amps of power going into the van. I have also upgraded the alternator on the van to be a high output alternator, so at idle I can get 200 amps out of the alternator when I'm just sitting at idle. That's how I rely on getting my amp hours back. Now, if I'm going to build that system, it doesn't do me any good to spend $2,000 on this system. This system has all the charging and everything built in. You just got to get the power to it, and that's going to be the problem. If you're going to put the money into a Red Arc system or a DC-DC system of some sort that's going to give you enough power to fully take advantage of these new inputs, then you might as well just build a dedicated system and go with a couple of good lithium batteries like the Battleborns that I have. There are some cheaper options. The Battleborns are a little bit on the expensive side. They're very good quality, but I know that there's some less expensive lithium options out there. So anyways, if, like I said, once you start to have to modify the vehicle to provide enough power for this to charge it, I think you're going to be more cost effective to go with dedicated batteries and a dedicated system. The other major downside to this particular system here is, again, what I talked about in the previous section about overlanding and camping. They really didn't give us enough DC ports. So if you want to hardwire in your refrigerator, hardwire in your heater, hardwire in your fan, there's just not enough options here to be able to do that. So again, for me, this is just not a viable solution if you're living and working out of your van full time. Now, with that said, I do like having the Jackery 300, which is a much smaller system. It's easy for me to pack away in the van. It's much lighter weight. And this gives me the option of, when I'm out somewhere, if I want, We've got a little creek outside. If I wanted to go sit in the shade by a creek and do some work, I can take this out with me and do that. And this is small enough and easy enough to charge on my dedicated battery system when I'm driving around. So I do like to have this as you know, kind of a portable system for me in the van, but I could not see myself actually running my entire meeting my entire power needs in the van off this system. Like I said, 100 amp hours would be right at the minimum of my needs as it is right now. I've got 200 amp hours would be right at my minimum of what I need to work each day. And then, like I said, the real big challenge is going to be getting the power into this without modifying the vehicle in some way. All right, folks, so that's everything I have for you on the Jackery 1500. Like I said, I think this is a great option if you are a, you know, camper, hunter, fisherman, going out short term, overlanding, anything like that, and you don't want to modify the wiring in your vehicle or have something that is permanently mounted in your vehicle. I think this is a great solution and will work very well for you. Now, as far as the person like me that's working full-time out of their vehicle, I really think you are going to be better with a dedicated solution, and then maybe having something like the 300 as a nice little backup solution, or just something that gives you the ability to do some stuff outside of your vehicle. If you guys are interested in this unit, if you do find like this could be a good unit for you, Jackery is running a promotion. It's temporary. It's from May 17th, 2021 through May 19th, 2021. And they're giving 15% off all Jackery units. Okay, so if it's something that you're interested in, or even one of the other Jackery units is something you're interested in, definitely check the description down below for a link, and you can make the purchase down through that link. Anyhow, guys, again, I hope you found this video useful. I hope it helped you in your decision making if this was something that you're looking at. If you have any comments or questions about this unit that I didn't cover, you can definitely ask those down in the comment section below. If you guys found this video to be useful, please do give it a like, and we'll catch you guys again outside.